amazed me was there used to be homestead families about every half mile, you know, for miles and miles here. And now there are only about 5 families left from that era here on Cherry Creek. And every time I look at that picture, I just am reminded of the strength they must have had to be able to survive when everybody else left.
This photograph was my grandfather and grandmother and their family of 10 children that was raised a short distance from this ranch. He homesteaded here in 1910. My folks moved here to this ranch in November of 1958 from Kodiak, Alaska. My father had been born in this area to homesteaders. He was born October 11th, 1924. If the cattle were not here to graze this, we would tend towards taller woody species and less grass. I believe one of Alan Savory's favorite quotes is, "Grass needs use and brush needs rest." So if we want to have a diverse landscape here with both grass and brush, we need to time it so that each one gets a chance over a several-year period to maintain its standing in the plant community.
Trees.
Okay.
Our kids, if they were here, would tell about that every year, since we've been married 33 years, and ever since we've been married, he purchased about 200 trees from the NRCS.
Well, from local nurseries through NRCS sometimes.
So every spring, the 200 trees would arrive, and the kids and I would just cringe because we know we were going to be out in the creeks and the shelter belts and all over the ranch planting these 200 trees, and they had to be done immediately. So sometimes it was in deep mud and in inclement weather, but we always got these 200 trees planted. And if you've ever been to eastern Montana, there aren't many trees, and our success rate was probably 10%, even the ones we hand watered. But it was a worthwhile endeavor, and some have survived, you know, so we just keep trying them. And when it's like 30, 40 below zero and the wind is just screaming with snow on the ground, and you wake up in the morning and look outside, there's hundreds of sharp tails eating the berries, and it's just always just so heartwarming to me to know that we planted those and it's feeding these birds. You know, I don't even know how they live when it's that cold.
The advantage of good stewardship is that your sustainability and your longevity, you're much more able to weather serious disaster type events, drought, fire, etc. Your land bounces back faster.
It's hard for me to talk about that without getting tears in my eyes, but I feel like our kids had the most beneficial place to be raised, and part of it is because they became, sorry, their pictures are right behind you, so it's hard for me to talk about them, but I feel like they became very mature early, which wasn't a negative thing to me, because when they got ready to go to college and off to their careers and things, they were ready. And also living on the land in the big open country prepared them to be really resourceful. They had to think on their own. They were out in the middle of nowhere sometimes by themselves and had to be resourceful and take care of themselves and get done what had to be done with limited resources. And they too were just raised with the idea of to leave the land better than they found it.